The horror of war is a haunting and devastating reality that has plagued humanity throughout history. It is a stark reminder of the darkest aspect of human nature and the immense suffering that accompanies armed conflicts. One of the most distressing aspects of the war is the unfathomable loss of life it brings. Countless soldiers, innocent civilians, and even children fall victim to the violence, leaving families and communities shattered by grief and despair. The physical and psychological trauma inflicted on those involved is equally harrowing. Soldiers endure life-altering injuries, amputations, and disabilities, while the psychological tolls manifest in the form of post-traumatic stress disorder (PTSD), depression, anxiety, and other mental health conditions. The devastation of war extends beyond human lives, as cities, towns, and infrastructures bear the brunt of destructions. Homes, hospitals, schools, and cultural heritage sites are reduced to rubble, erasing years of history and displacing entire communities. The displacement caused by war creates a humanitarian crisis, with millions of people forced to flee their homes in search of safety and refuge. These displaced individuals often face dire conditions, lacking basic necessities and vulnerable to exploitation. Civilians become target of torture, violence, forced labor, and other atrocities, perpetuating a cycle of suffering and dehumanization. The horror of war is a stark reminder of the urgent need for peace, compassion, and concerted efforts to prevent and resolve conflicts, sparing future generations from the unspeakable horror of war. After finding an old rifle, a young boy joins the Soviet resistance movement against ruthless German forces and experiences the horror of World War II. In today's video, we will be talking about Kamency. Kamency is a 1985 Soviet anti-war film directed by Elem Klimov and starring Alexei Rodionov. Its screenplay, written by Klimov and Ales Adamovich, is based on the 1971 novel Khatyn by Ales Adamovich and the 1977 memoir I Am from the Fiery Village. Klimov had to fight 8 years of censorship from the Soviet authorities before he could be allowed to produce the film in its entirety. Kamency received generally positive critical reception upon release and received the 5 Prasky Prize at the 14th Moscow International Film Festival. It has since come to be considered one of the greatest films of all time. In the 2002 Sight and Sound Directors Poll, it ranks 41st.
Отвыкайте, привыкайте, тупо пальцем подтирайте. Из ноздри побегаться, я вам что? Хран голландский, был голландский, стал германский.
In the year 1943, in the war-torn landscape of Belarus, a young boy named Florya learned to contribute to the defense of his homeland against the invading Nazi forces. As the only son of a destitute peasant family, Florya feels a deep sense of duty to join the fight and defend his country. However, the harsh reality of World War II quickly shatters his idealistic visions. With each passing day, the German invasion of Belarus intensifies, leaving a trail of devastation in its wake. Florya's naivety and innocence are gradually stripped away as he witnesses the unspeakable horrors that hides within the fog of war. The brutality of the conflict begins to disfigure Florya's once rosy youthful face, serving as a visual testament to the profound impact of war on his young psyche. Kamency follows the journey of Florya Gaishun, a young Belarusian boy during World War II. Set in German-occupied Belarus, the film portrays the devastating consequences of war and the harrowing experience endured by the characters. The story begins with Florya's enthusiasm and idealism as he joins the Soviet resistance against the German forces. However, his optimism is quickly shattered as he witnesses the brutality of war. Kamency offers a critical perspective of the consequences of war and the ideologies that it fuels. It exposes the destructive nature of fascism and the atrocities committed under its regime. The film serves as a condemnation of war and a reminder of the horrors that result from unchecked aggressions. The film's unflinching and realistic depiction of the horror of war is one of its defining features. It portrays the devastating consequences of conflict, including genocide, destructions, and the dehumanization of both victim and perpetrators. The film does not shy away from depicting the brutal realities of war, resulting in a raw and impactful viewing experience. Come and See also delves into the psychological and emotional tolls of war on individuals. They portray the loss of innocence, the erosion of hope, and the profound trauma experienced by the characters. The film's examination of the human experience amidst extreme adversity adds depth and complexity to its narrative, resonating with audience on a profound level.
Seinen Ursprung in Kindern hat.
Я так сказал, потому что с детей начинается все.
Ihr dürft nicht existieren.
Вас не должно быть.
Nicht jedes Volk hat das Recht auf Zukunft.
Не все народы имеют право на будущее.
Come and See explores several powerful and interrelated themes, including loss of innocence. The protagonist Florya starts the film as an innocent and optimistic young boy. However, as he witnesses the war, his innocence is shattered, and he rapidly ages both physically and mentally. The film explores the loss of innocence that war inflicts upon individuals and its profound impact on their psyche. Psychological impact. Come and See delve into the psychological tolls of war on its characters. It examines the psychological trauma, disillusionment, and madness that arise from the experience of violence, death, and loss. The film portrays the profound emotional and mental distress suffered by those caught in the midst of war. Dehumanization. The film highlights the dehumanization effect of war on both victims and the perpetrators. It showcases the brutal treatments of civilians, the stripping away of human dignity, and the erosion of moral values in the face of extreme violence and conflict. Resistance and resilience. Despite the overwhelming hardship and horror they face, the character in Come and See demonstrate resilience and a will to survive. The film explores themes of resistance, courage, and the strength of the human spirit in the face of unimaginable adversity. Anti-war message. One of the central themes of Come and See is its strong anti-war sentiment. The film portrays the senselessness and futility of war, the immense suffering it causes, and the lasting scars it leaves on individuals and societies. It serves as a powerful indictment of war and its destructive consequences.
Дайте! Вы что? Вы что? Вот этих убить? Просто убить и все! Это СС, каратели. Они сжигали. Да! Мы не немцы. Что сидеть? Нас заставили.
The characters in Come and See are integral to the film's narrative and serve as a vessel through which the audience experiences the horror of war. The main character is Florya Gaishun, portrayed by Alexei Rodionov. Florya is a young Belarusian boy who is initially filled with enthusiasm and idealism about joining the Soviet resistance against the German occupation during World War II. As the film progresses, Florya undergoes a profound transformation as he witnesses the brutalities and atrocities of war. He is exposed to the unimaginable horrors of genocide, destruction, and the dehumanization of all victims. Florya's innocence and optimism are shattered, and he becomes a shell of his former self, bearing the weight of the traumatic experience he endures. While Florya is the central character, there are other notable supporting characters who contribute to the narrative. Galasha, played by Olga Mironova, is a young girl who accompanies Florya on his journey and provides moments of solace and humanity amidst the chaos. There are also various resistance fighters, villagers, and German soldiers who interact with Florya throughout the film, each representing different aspects of the war's impact on individuals and communities. The characters in Come and See are not necessarily deeply developed in terms of traditional character arcs, but they serve as a vessel to convey the emotional and psychological toll of war. The experience and interaction highlight the dehumanization effect of conflicts, the loss of innocence, and the devastating consequences on individuals and society as a whole. Elem Klimov, the director of Come and See, was deeply affected by the Khatyn Massacre and used it as one of the inspiration of the film. While Come and See is not a direct retelling of the Khatyn Massacre, it incorporates elements of the atrocity and the broader experience of the Belarusian people during the war. The Khatyn Massacre was a horrific war crime that took place on March 22, 1943, during World War II in the village of Khatyn, located in present-day Belarus. The village was inhabited mostly by Belarus civilians, including women, children, and elderly people. On that day, a battalion of the Nazi SS, specifically the Delewenger Brigade, surrounded the village and rounded up all the villages. The SS troop then forced the villages into a barn and set it on fire. Anyone who tried to escape or hide was shot or killed with grenades. In total, 149 villages, including 75 children, were brutally murdered in the massacre. The Khatyn Massacre was intended as a brutal reprisal against the local population for alleged support of Soviet partisans. The aim was to intimidate and terrorize the Belarusian civilians and suppress any resistance. Following the massacre, the entire village was burned down, leaving only charred ruins behind. The atrocity at Khatyn was one of numerous similar mass killings and acts of destruction that occurred throughout Belarus during the German occupation. The Khatyn Massacre gained significant attention and became a symbol of the atrocities committed during the war. It is remembered as a tragic event that represents the suffering and loss experienced by the Belarusian people during World War II. The memorial complex of Khatyn was later built at the site to commemorate the victims and serve as a powerful reminder of the horrors of war. The film's strength lies in its exceptional cinematography by Alexei Rodionov. Skillfully captures the visual essence of war and creates a palpable sense of realism throughout the film. One of the notable aspects of the cinematography is its use of handheld cameras. This technique lends a documentary-like feel to the visuals, immersing the audience in the chaotic and unpredictable nature of the war-torn environment. The shaky and unsteady camera movement intensify the sense of urgency and immediacy, effectively drawing viewers into the narrative. The film showcases a range of visually striking and memorable sequences, from the opening shot of Florya's face emerging from the swamp to the powerful and disturbing imagery of burning villages and devastated landscapes. Each frame is carefully composed to evoke strong emotions and convey the horror of war. The use of close-up in Come and See is particularly impactful. The camera often lingers on the faces of the characters, capturing their expressions and emotion in intimate detail. This technique allows the audience to connect deeply with the characters, experience and feel their anguish and despair.
Главное их оружие – страх. Превратить тебя в раба, в насекомое и раздавить.
The sound design in Come and See is a crucial element that greatly enhances the film's impact and contributes to its immersive and emotional storytelling. The film utilizes sounds in various ways to create a powerful auditory experience. One of the notable aspects of the sound design is the use of ambient sounds. Throughout the film, the audience is immersed in a world of war with sounds of bombings, gunfire, explosions, and screams. These sounds are skillfully mixed and layered to create a sense of chaos and danger, effectively transporting viewers into the war-torn environment alongside the characters. The film also utilized silence to great effect. There are moments of eerie quietness, where the absence of sound creates a tension and emphasizes the gravity of the character's experience. This moment of silence often precede or follow intense sequences, allowing the audience to absorb the emotional impact of the events. Musical score plays a significant role in Come and See as well. The haunting and evocative score by Oleg Yanchenko enhances the film's atmospheric and reinforces the emotional intensity of the scenes. The music ranges from melancholic melodies to dissonant and unsettling compositions, effectively capture the mood and themes of the film. Many people have testified to the power of Come and See. Academy Award-winning cinematographer Roger Deakins praised the film in one of his interviews with the Criterion Collections. Director Laszlo Nemes has acknowledged that he was an influence on his powerful drama Son of Saul. Andrei Tarkovsky, known for his own influential works, praised Kamency as a remarkable film that authentically captures the horror of war. He commended the director's craftsmanship and the film's emotional impact. Roger Ebert included Kamency in his list of the greatest film ever made. He described it as a masterpiece of war cinema, highlighting its raw power, gripping storytelling, and profound exploration of the human experience in the face of extreme adversity. But the most memorable review of this film came from an elderly German man that Klimov recalled standing up at a post-film discussions. He declared that he was a soldier of the Wehrmacht, moreover an officer of the Wehrmacht. I traveled through all of the Poland and Belarus, finally reaching Ukraine. I will testify, everything that is told in this film is the truth. He went on to note that the most frightening and shameful thing for me is that this film will be seen by my children and grandchildren.
Я не жалею, что я это сделал, этот фильм. Хотя вот так тяжело вот он рождался и так тяжело дался. Вот, но надо в жизни иногда совершать какие-то настоящие поступки и деяния. Наверное, тогда имеет смысл заниматься творчеством. Вот, если ты что-то людям можешь на самом деле серьезное, большое, серьезное принести.
In conclusion, Kamency is a powerful and haunting portrayal of the horror of war, as seen through the eyes of a young boy thrust into the chaos of World War II. The film takes viewers on a journey that strips away innocence, confronts the brutal realities of conflict, and leaving an indelible mark on both the characters and the audience. Through its gripping plot, masterful cinematography, and evocative sound design, Kamency captures the devastating impact of war on individuals and society. It explores themes of loss, trauma, and the dehumanization that occur amidst the chaos of battle. The film's deliberate pacing and compelling performances draw viewers into the emotional depths of the characters, immersing them in a harrowing experience that lingers long after the credits. Critically acclaimed by filmmakers, revered by critics, and embraced by audiences worldwide, Kamency stands as a testament to the power of cinema in conveying the horror of war and its lasting effects. Its uncompromising portrayal of the human capacity for cruelty and suffering serves as a reminder of the importance of peace and the need to confront the devastating consequences of conflicts. Guys, what do you think about Kamency? Do you enjoy it? Do you not enjoy it? Do you see it as a masterpiece film of anti-war Hokkaido? Or do you have another way of looking at it? Let me know the kind of stuff in the comment below. That's all from me. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe for more. Toga out.